Alright guys, today we're going to get into a video from JakFrags. He's on YouTube. This is on the new Battlefield game that's supposed to be coming out. And I do mean, or I use that term supposed to very loosely here. Because they haven't announced anything. But again, this guy's name is JakFrags. He's on YouTube. You guys go ahead and give him a like, follow, subscribe. While you're at it, go ahead and hit the follow, subscribe, like, send me a comment. Let me know how I did. Let me know how you feel about this. It's all free. I love you guys. Let's get right into the video.
Now we officially know for sure that the next Battlefield game will be revealed in summer, potentially weeks away. And the chance of an October-November 2025 release date is more likely than ever now based on that information. And some very interesting comments from Andrew Wilson at the EA Investors Call last night. Plus, we got some new concept art to look at and some cool gameplay information from a public Battlefield Labs post. So with that said, let's dive in and take a look. Pretty exciting stuff here today. So, shiny things first, new concept art. This is the capstone map, and based on video footage that was leaked from a playtest a couple of weeks ago, it's set in the Tajikistan mountain region. And we can clearly see that this is the A objective. Love the vibes here in the leaked footage. You can't go all the way to those mountains in the background, unfortunately, but they did look incredibly atmospheric and realistic surrounding the map. Esco walls and sandbags, and of course we see 3 attack helicopters soaring above. This map did feature all-out warfare with helicopters and jets. In the leaks, I also saw a lot of destroyed buildings in the footage, which is great to see. The development update had some nice snippets in there. Across our 4 initial play sessions with a small group of core Battlefield players across Europe and North America, we've completed thousands of hours of gameplay, had
Thousands of hours. How long have they been working on this? That's the thing. I don't know how long they've been working on this. But for a small group to have thousands of hours already. How long have they been working on this? I mean, it looks great from what I can see so far anyway. I mean, I've always been a huge Battlefield fan. Truly have. Now, did 2042 kind of become underwhelming? Yeah, for me at least. I didn't care for it. I just wish we could get back to the days of, like, Battlefield 4, or even bring back the Bad Company series. Those are the games, like the Bad Company series are exactly what got me into gaming. So I guess let's see what Mr. Jack here has to say about the rest of it. So
hundreds of thousands of player spawns and seen over 1 million environmental objects destroyed, including walls, windows, crates and buildings your squad crashed the helicopter into. Players in these sessions have helped us successfully validate the following areas: establishing a solid foundation for smooth, low latency and high performance gunplay, finding the right balance in movement speed for functionality such as crouch, sprint, combat rolling and vaulting as part of our combat pacing initiatives, and using destruction to create fun and lasting tactical gameplay across rounds and experiences. So the use of the term validate, that kind of says to me that they've implemented new systems for these kind of things in the game, like gunplay, performance, movement, that stuff, and based on feedback from players, they're happy with it and they feel that it's moving in the right direction.
okay, so with what he just said there, the whole validation thing, if they're actually doing anything close to what Jack is saying here, and what the players in the small group have confirmed, I guess you could say, it seems to me that this might be getting back to like the Battlefield 4 days, or at least pretty close, right? So yeah, that sounds like it's gonna be great. So here we go.
Really good that they actually mentioned low latency there too. Latency is a big issue, especially in FPS games. Many of them just
Most
kind of forgo
definitely.
it and it becomes a second thought, but for moment-to-moment gameplay, it's arguably the most important thing. So it's nice that it's at the front of their minds there, and they're trying to hopefully reduce it as much as possible. It continues, exploring new ideas for the future and receiving direct player feedback continues to be a crucial aspect of the Battlefield Labs process, even if some ideas never reach release. So perhaps some of the stuff that they're testing or that we've seen in leaks won't actually make it to the game. I digress. It helps us understand and refine elements that resonate most with players as we continue to build Battlefield together. It's been a valuable and exciting experience for our team and community so far, and we're looking forward to continuing that collaboration alongside you. Now that we've wrapped up initial server performance and stability concerns, good to hear that, we've validated a solid foundation.
I'm going to go ahead and pause it here so anybody here can actually read it as well. I'll see if I can pull that up for just a minute. Go ahead and pause it, read it. It's got some pretty good stuff here coming from JakFrags. Obviously, huge guy in the YouTube sphere if anybody is newer to it, but he's always been awesome. So, alright, let's scale that back down. There we go. And here we go.
For a core Battlefield experience, we're now ready to continue scaling Battlefield Labs testing globally. This is where you might actually get to play. Throughout May, we'll be inviting more players across Europe and North America, and we'll start to include select areas of Asia. Alongside testing new content, we'll continue to iterate on our initial focus areas, such as balancing the different weapon archetypes and damage values, as well as movement and combat pacing mechanics. Destruction also remains an ongoing topic across our play sessions. We'll continue to test destructible objects across a variety of maps and fine-tune damage levels of surfaces.
See, and like that right there. All right, it's over here for y'all. That's what set Battlefield apart from Call of Duty. Yes, Call of Duty did it a couple of times with a couple of different things in some games, and it seemed to work out okay then, but it's not Battlefield. It's never going to be on the same scale. It's just not. It's not going to be on the same scale. And Battlefield did it right. They did it first, and they're the best at it, in my opinion. So, all right, Jack, let's get back to it.
Following community updates on gunplay and destruction, we'll be back in the future to talk more about classes and the all-out warfare experience. Really interested to hear about that. So BF Labs, quite a positive post from DICE there. Obviously, it's working out for them from a development perspective. Shame about the leaks though, but it was always going to happen with so many people involved. It's nice that they're opening it up to more people too, and perhaps that shows a lot of confidence in the product. Now then, EA earnings call. This is the real juicy stuff. As I'm reading this through to you, just look at it through the lens of this is the EA CEO speaking to investors. Keep that in mind, but there is some solid new information here, and reading between the lines, we can make a logical assumption when the game's going to release. As we look to the future, we're confident in our ability to execute across a deep pipeline. Beginning this summer with the highly anticipated reveal of Battlefield, a pivotal step in delivering on our next generation of blockbuster entertainment. So first things first, the game's going to be revealed in summer. This is what I meant when I said it could be weeks away. If you remember 2042, they had the infamous June boom, so we may actually get the official name and release date in June next month. Turning to Battlefield, we're taking a modern player-first approach to building, testing and marketing this next-level experience. Through Battlefield Labs, the biggest playtesting initiative in franchise history, we're engaging players earlier and more meaningfully than ever before, testing its scale and validating core gameplay experiences to deliver something truly special for our players. Through our play sessions with a core group of Battlefield players across Europe and North America, we complete thousands of hours of gameplay, and the response has far exceeded expectations. Over 600,000 players have signed up for Labs to date, alongside an amazing 350 million views on the Battlefield content since our announcement. Based on this incredible global demand, we're expanding Labs by inviting more players across Europe and North America, and we'll begin to include Asia. We read that before. This marks a key milestone, as therefore a full worldwide launch backed by the largest Battlefield team in our history and grounded in community collaboration. We remain firmly on track for an FY26 release with a major global reveal later this summer.
Alright, so with that there, all of this, 600,000 signed up, and 350 million views of Battlefield content. That's a lot of eyeballs, y'all. I'm really hoping that this is going to be anywhere even close, or even in the same ballpark as what Jak is making it out to be, what DICE is making it out to be, what Battlefield as the game is making it out to be. If it's even close to as good as they're making it out to be, this could be a Call of Duty killer. It truly could. I mean, for me at least, it could be, for sure. So, all right, let's get back into it.
Reveal later this summer. So he's mentioning the reveal again and clarifying FY26. So basically he's saying that the game will release between now and the end of March 2026. But in the next section, I feel like he's strongly alluding to a October, November 2025 release. Unless they decide to delay it, of course. It continued, we've always worked closely with the community, but we haven't always worked as closely as we should have. I think that's definitely true. We haven't
Nobody
always really
does.
worked to help them understand the things that we're building and for us to understand the things that they really want out of a Battlefield. We know that when we get it right, Battlefield is a giant franchise and often the biggest shooter in the year. And so this time we wanted to ensure that one, our player base and our global community had a better understanding of the things that we were building and how we were building and some of the approaches that we're taking to building. But more importantly, we wanted them to have the ability to feedback on map construction, weapon lineup, progression, all of the things that make Battlefield great at a Battlefield scale. And given that this is the biggest Battlefield ever, there was really no other way to go about that other than Battlefield Labs in the way that we have. And I will tell you, we've been overwhelmed by the feedback, not just the positive feedback that our players are giving us around what we're doing, how we're doing it, the scale and nature of what we're doing, but also just their willingness to deeply engage with us through this process. You know, hundreds of thousands of people have weighed into this and really given us feedback that's going to help us tune and balance this incredible scale game. And as we move into the next phase, we'll start to open up to a wider audience, blah, blah, blah. So it seems like that they're taking all sorts of feedback, not just positive stuff, but also negative. It's good to see that. Hopefully if it's constructive feedback and good quality, they act on it. This is about two things. One is helping our community understand the nature of the things that we're building, but more important, have us understand the things that they want out of this game and ensuring we're tuning and balancing and polishing in a way that's aligned with their expectations. And we know when we get that right, that the opportunity is incredibly large. And then at the end of the call, they have a Q&A session. And I think in response to a question asked here, with the fact that the game's been revealed in summer, it'll be coming out October, November. So this was a question from Andrew Merrick. He said, now that the big major expected release has moved out of fiscal 26 in the industry, he's talking about GTA 6 by the way, I guess how do you see the rest of the gaming industry positioning potential releases over the next few months, and how does that impact your thoughts on the competitive landscape for the Battlefield launch window and subsequent performance expectations?
See, that's a good question. With GTA being moved back again, and it being one of, if not the most anticipated game that would be coming out next year, I'm curious to see what it's going to do for them, because this Battlefield isn't as much of a household name as Call of Duty is. It's just not, and I don't think it ever will be, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure if they're gonna make their window to make any kind of money on it, they pretty much have to do it this year. Like, if they want to sell copies of it, they got to do it this year. They have to. All right, let's get back to it.
Andrew replied with the following: I'm not sure I can comment on the rest of the industry and their launches or launch timings, other than to say typically today games take many years to build and develop. and it's unlikely that if you weren't already ready to launch in this window, it may be hard to get ready and take advantage of what might be otherwise a less competitive window than we may have anticipated earlier. Relative to Battlefield, what we have said all along is we've been building towards a window that we thought made the most sense for Battlefield, but we wouldn't launch into a window that we thought truncated the value that we've invested into the franchise or the value that we think our players will derive from it once they jump in and start playing. I think now, without going too far, we believe that window is clearer than it was before, and we feel very good about launching Battlefield in fiscal year 2026.
Now, that goes along basically with what I just said. If they miss this window, they're pretty much doomed. They truly are. And I hate to say that because I love the Battlefield guys. I love the Battlefield team. I love DICE. I mean, they're awesome. They're great as a company, and I'm glad to see that they've made it as long as they have and as far as they have. I really, really hope that we get it a little earlier than 26, but who knows? I guess we'll see.
The window is much clearer now. That means that GTA 6 is out of the way. Previously, it was supposed to be releasing this fall, October, November, most likely. That's gone now. That's in May 2026. Also, I don't know how much this plays into it, but the current rumors for COD this year are that it's a remake or remaster of Black Ops 2. So perhaps not that exciting to a lot of people. Maybe they feel like that's also a weak bit of competition. We'll see. And most importantly, historically, the big Battlefield games release October, November. That makes the most sense. More people are indoors. They've saved up a bit of cash. It's coming up to Christmas. And he's saying here that they've spent a crap load of money on this game and they want to see some of that back. Therefore, launching in that typical fall period, October, November, when most of the games are bought, that makes way more sense now that GTA 6 is gone. And it would be a better opportunity proposition than releasing in February or March next year.
See, that's another thing I was thinking about too. Like if you if you release it sometime in the summer, all the kids are at home or they're on vacation, whatever, however you want to say it. Or right there at the end of summer, right before you have to start saving up for Christmas or whatever holiday you believe in or celebrate, however you want to say it. End of summer, early fall, somewhere right in there would be the perfect time, in my opinion. If I were going to do it, that's when I would want to do it, personally. Because, like Jack said, people have saved up a little bit of money. They don't have a whole lot of things necessarily going on. And it doesn't necessarily make it to where people are feeling like they have to budget, I guess you can say, to save up the money to get this game, or potentially not get a copy of it because they can't. Well, obviously we're in the digital age now. We don't go to GameStop and get a hard copy disc anymore. But with the release times and the download speeds, and I witnessed it when I believe it was the 2019 Modern Warfare came out. The instant that it was available to download here in the US, it was like my download speeds on everything went through the floor just because everybody got it at the same exact time. And you're talking 100 million people ish all at the same time trying to download the same exact file. It's just, especially when there's the 100+ million that are getting just that game. That's not including all the people who are getting other games that are releasing at the same time, trying to download those at the same time. it's just it just makes so much more sense to do it at the end of summer, early fall, somewhere in there. But anyway, we'll get back to Jak. Here we go.
Also, with their big franchises, EA typically don't reveal and then release much later on. They try and do an announcement, ride the hype wave, and then get it out within a couple months. So if history repeats itself, the fact that they're revealing in summer, and Andrew's comments here, that leads me to believe that the game is releasing October and November this year. Positives and negatives to this. I did talk about this in a previous video. I hope that with GTA 6 being delayed, they don't just see this as an opportunity to capitalize and make a load of money. Like, if the game's not finished, they still release it anyway because they think it's gonna sell more. Please don't do that. If the game isn't ready, don't release it in October, November.
Don't be another Call of Duty.
That would be catastrophic for the Battlefield franchise. Delay it if you have to, because myself, most Battlefield fans, we just want a good Battlefield game. So I hope that if it is this fall, it's actually stable and a good product and feature rich. That's my big concern with this. On the flip side, if it is ready, awesome. Reveal coming up soon in summer. We might have a beta in August, September, and then we'll be playing the full game October, November. That time is going to fly by, and it'll be here sooner than you think, and we'll have a new modern Battlefield game to play. That's exciting.
Yes,
I would
will.
advise to approach this with trepidation though, because the last couple of launches were not good. So if they reveal in summer, they're going to start putting up pre-orders for the game. Obviously that's your decision, that's your money, but my advice would be wait until you can play it in an open beta and then make a decision. See how you feel about it first. With that said, that's all for today, folks. I imagine that news, information, gameplay, trailers, all that stuff is going to be ramping up soon. Of course, anything new, I'll keep you guys updated, and I really appreciate you being here and watching. Thank you so much for all of your support. Drop me a like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you didn't, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Alright, so that is JakFrags over here on YouTube. That is this gentleman right here, JakFrags. He's got 4.2 million subscribers. He's, as far as like my personal opinion, he's one of the most intelligent people in the gaming sphere on YouTube anyway. He's definitely one of the most informative, and I've never had a single problem with anything he's ever done. He's been a phenomenal guy. But we got a lot of good information about the new Battlefield that's supposed to be coming out. So if you guys liked anything that he said, or anything I've been able to add to or help with, however you want to say it, please just like, subscribe, give me a comment. It's all free over here on YouTube. It's all free. I love you guys. Hopefully I'll see you soon.